What's going on, guys? Today we're going to go over Starlord and Doctor Strange for Omega War. We're going to go over several options for both characters as they're very diverse in the player versus player group environment. This is going to be Omega War as well as Alliance Omega War at the same time. Before jumping into this video, I also want to remind you about my giveaway that I'll be doing on Wednesday coming up when the patch drops. Currently, if you put the keyword, which will be towards the end of the video, in the comments down below, as well as, so you put the keyword, then what you liked or disliked about the video down below, as well as the past 3 videos, you'll be entered into the giveaway. The other way to be entered into the giveaway is my Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. The link is down below. Download the game, get to player level 15, and you'll get 5 additional draws into the giveaway. As well as people download the game and do the sponsorship, then the giveaway gets bigger and bigger. We currently hit the first milestone, so it was $25 giveaway, now we're at $30 giveaway, and when 2 more people add to that, then it'll be 35 to 2 different people, and it'll keep growing and growing from there. So download the link, play the game up to player level 15, you're done. Let's get into it. So real quick before we get into the actual video going on today, I'd like to show you guys that they announced Ghost Rider as a companion coming up. So on Wednesday when it drops, he will be there as well. This is important because if you remember a couple days ago I did a data mine video, and you'll see a couple things here that we know. So here he is right here, Ghost Rider, as well as his car. Mephisto, they've already announced, he is here as well. We have Hela down here, so that means the quest giver zombie daredevil is probably going to come, as well as this character right here. I mean, this makes me think Namor right here, but this doesn't look like Namor to me. Let me know if there's a different version of Namor I'm just not thinking of, but his body does not seem like Namor to myself. And now let's jump into the actual video. So first, jumping right into Strange. Strange really has 2 build paths, either damage or support. First, we're going to start with the damage build right here. And it has a very interesting combo that recently got added because of this change to his first ability here on the list. Eldritch Sword Bladed Defense does really good damage and also decreases damage received by 15% for about 10 seconds. So what happens here is you start with this ability, follow it up with Astral Projection, you go through the enemy, they take increased damage after that time, and once that's done, you have your Bladed Defense up, dealing that damage to them, and then you can immediately hit them with Gateway Summoning, Gateway Launch, your strongest ability off rip, with that damage bonus from Astral Projection. Hopefully with Bladed Defense you're able to survive that time, and then you can either burn a dodge or reposition yourself with 7 Rings of Ragdor, Ring Repulsion, your second highest damaging skill, but also your fastest. What's interesting about this skill in particular is if you're too close to the opponent, Strange will teleport himself backwards to the max range and use the ability. Your last skill right here, Book of Fashanti Assault, is just good, decent damage. Highest guard break, but we're not really guard breaking that often as Strange. And I want to show you the other build. This is what I use for Alliance Omega War for Strange. And that's because you'll see I really only have technically 3 attack skills, but really 2. You'll see in just a second. We start off with Glare of Confusion. You put down an AoE Confusion. This can zone off an entire area. You put it down. It does an initial damage when you put it down, but it does the confusion when they walk into it. So the idea behind this is you throw it on a group of crystals, an Alliance Omega War or Omega War, depending on if you're with. I don't recommend this build if you're going in solo. If you go in with a group, this is a decent build. This will help you protect your point carrier as well as support your team to the win. So they walk in, so you put it down on the crystals so that your team can pick up the crystals unabated, and if they walk in, they get confused, start hitting each other. Then we follow that up with Astral Projection Illusionist. This is different than the other version that we saw earlier. This summons 2 clones of yourself. They're targetable by the enemies, and they don't take damage. So they just sit there and they kind of take targeting aggro from your allies. Messes with targeting, makes it harder for people to hit your allies. Next, we go into the Eldritch Sword Bladed Defense, just like we talked about before. This is really great when paired up with the Astral Projection, not for the same reason as the other, but if you do Eldritch Sword Bladed Defense right after Illusionist, you can kind of, if an enemy has to maneuver around your clones to target the point carrier, you can kind of position yourself in a way that they have to get through the clones and through your Bladed Defense. That's just doing circle damage before they can get there, effectively just becoming a wall for your allies. Then we have our 2 quickest damage abilities, the Vishanti Assault and Ring Repulsion. You need some kind of damage. You can swap Book of Ashanti for one of the other support class skills. This really depends on how your team works. So right here you have cooldown. This gives them the cooldown stat, does not reduce current cooldown. So if your allies need cooldown, this is a great one. You just have to position yourself in a good spot to give it to your allies when you cast it. A bunch of the Book of Ashanti skills are really good for support. It really depends on what your allies need. You also have the option over here, Master Mystic Arts, Soul Enhance, that gives Defense Pierce by 25%. This does not go past the cap. So what you can do, and what I did before merge, was I had my alliance cap at 50% Defense Pierce, and then I would cast this off cooldown because I had really high cooldown reduction. So I had about 70 to 80% uptime on this to always have them at cap Defense Pierce. That allowed them to max their PvP stats. PvP up, PvP decrease, crit damage, crit rate, things like that. If they don't have to focus on Defense Pierce, they can focus on other things. Now going on into specializations. Going on into specializations, we really only have 5 that I recommend looking at. You mix and match depending on what your needs are. Down here for both builds, I recommend White Magic Hagos Blessing, just reduce damage across the board. Then we look over here, Time Manipulation Force Field now has an 8-second cooldown, but reduces all your cooldowns when you use illusion magic. The only illusion magic that we're really using on both builds is the clones or astral projection. This will help you in both builds regardless. Up here, Dark Magic Will of the Destroyer. I only recommend this for the damage build because it gives you flat attack, but reduces your cooldowns. You hit harder, but they take longer, whereas the control build, you're really trying to churn through those abilities faster and faster. For both builds, I also like Cruel Choice, just Mystic Art skills, higher damage. On both builds, I didn't point it out, but really on both of them, all the damage abilities we're using are Mystic Arts. So this is really powerful for that. For the damage build, your 4th would really be Etched Fear. Increase your max damage rate when you use, for 5 seconds, when you use Mystic Art skill. All your skills there are effectively Mystic Arts, so it allows you to always hit higher in the damage threshold. So how max damage rate works is, let's say your max damage is 100, and this makes you do closer to 100 every time you use an ability. Next, we'll talk about companions and cards. So going on into the Omega cards. Omega cards are kind of a weird thing where for most damage or support things, they're kind of roughly the same. If we take a look, one of my favorites is the Supervillain Team Up for cooldown. This is amazing for both, even more so for the damage build as you put yourself in negative cooldown. So this will help dig yourself out of it. For the damage, for both builds, doing the crit damage one right here definitely helps you. I mean, what's a better support than killing the target for your carry, right? We have, you could do 2-piece set 6, the Loki and the Thor attack card if you want to. This would be for your damage build. You have some fun options. 2-piece set 8, good for a little bit of dodge. Really, you want that Doctor Strange cooldown card for what we said already. If we look at the exclusives, we have PvP up, down, ultimate, and cooldown. For the this is a tough one because so PvP decrease is the one you want to max first, and then for support you want to get both ultimate and cooldown, and then for the damage one you really want to get all three of ultimate, cooldown, and PvP increase, which is a lot harder to get. Next we'll go on to companions. For companions, this really becomes a flavor thing. So if you want to have a nice AoE stun, Gilgamesh is always a great option. Nick Fury with all the guard break things that are currently running around in the meta, really great for bringing yourself back up, and also does a little bit of damage. As you all know, I really like Athena, Cersei, and Vision has started becoming one in this as well. I like all three for what they do to the team. Vision does an AoE, but his damage is irrelevant. You don't care about the damage. You care about decreasing all damage received by 13% for 10 seconds. He puts out like an AoE, and then all allies that take damage in that AoE reduce that by 13%. Cersei does an AoE and reduces their defense, and Athena does an AoE and increases everyone's attack. So all of these are really great for your team. If you're just trying to lock people down, do some damage, I recommend Gilgamesh, Daredevil, or Yondu. Last, let's get into the costumes. Last but not least, the costumes. We have either Xanderth, which I prefer, attack, HP, and mystic arts, or down here Hydra, which is attack, defense, and mystic arts. I prefer HP over defense, as you have the reduce incoming damage by about 20%, and that cares about your HP. You have more effective HP with HP than with defense, as you know, Cersei and things like that reduce defense, as well as people have the 75% defense mitigation, defense pierce. So having more HP matters more in the current state of the game than defense. That's for both, and for non-regional, where's it at? Up here, we have defenders for the attack, 7 rings. This is your second highest damage skill, but it's your fastest high damage skill. And the amount that it's less damage than the first skill is not by much. So this is your fastest, boom, quick damage. And what's very interesting is for the support build, I prefer 1602, the Book of Ashanti skill, for the support build, because if we take a look at the actual Book of Ashanti skills, that'd be over here. You have a decent high damage skill right here if you don't want to use any of the support class skills, but also the cooldown is based off of this as well. So currently it's at 28%, and with a +6 you're looking at roughly 35% cooldown stat for your team. So that means with them having 15, you give them the cap of 50% cooldown. And that's only if you want to go in that direction. If not, you would lean towards defenders as well. Next, let's go on to Starlord. So for Starlord, he also has two different builds. We're going to go over both Burn and Chill. And so the Flame, you really want to go towards if you're the carry, if you're the person doing the damage, actually killing the opponent. And Chill is more of a supportive build with high guard break and CCing your opponents. If we take a look right here, our first skill, Battle Soundtrack Noise Pollution, does a big AoE as you see in the animation. They can't use their dodge, and their movement speed's reduced by roughly 50%. You have the option of doing Kickstart to give you dodge skill recovery for damage you'll see later with the specializations, and stamina recovery. Noise pollution adds a bit to the team, so it depends on if you're going in solo or with a group effort. Next we have Space Pirate Burning Multi-Blast, quick damage, burns them. And then we go straight into Problem Solver Rapid Fire Spin. This recently got untargetable during the casting, and it has a pretty long cast, so you're able to use some of your quick cooldown skills, go into this, and then immediately go into your other cooldown skills yet again. Jet Boots, Burning Jets, does quick damage, and actually you see 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of burn right there. Really great for stacking up your burn. And then everyone's favorite, Flame Cannonball. Doesn't do the most damage, but it does it very quickly, and it does it on a low cooldown. Next we go into the Chill build. And as I said, this is a supportive build, so Kickstart, where it gives only you dodge gauge and stamina recovery on a 30-second cooldown, we're using Just Getting Started, which is the same thing with the same numbers, but on a 40-second cooldown. And we're doing it to our allies around us. It has a pretty long range. I did a lot of testing on this, and it effectively has about the same range as your Problem Solver skill. So as you get used to that, you can kind of see your allies in trouble, give them that dodge skill recovery, stamina recovery. If you got storms, people that really use a bunch of their stuff, this will also help your point leader use their dodge more often and get going. And then we're actually using the same skills but ice. We got Space Pirate Chill Out, as we see medium guard break, and we'll see up here Chill reduces movement speed and dodge rate by 36%, which is amazing. And then once you hit the max stats, you freeze them so your allies can kill them. Then we go Problem Solver Explosive Crescendo. Is actually a quicker animation, which is good and bad at the same time, depending on what you're looking for. The Flame one has a longer animation with target off, so it's longer until your opponents can target you. And with this, it's a quicker animation, so you can use your abilities quicker as well. So high guard break, exactly what we're looking for. Jet Boots, Icy Slide, quicker than the Burn one. You don't leave yourself vulnerable as long, and has high guard break as well. Then we go Elemental Cannon Freezing Cannonball, which has 3 seconds more than the Burning Cannonball with highest guard break. So if you do dodge into Freezing Cannonball, you're probably going to break someone's guard if you're building into that guard damage. Next we'll get into specializations. For specializations, I'm going to go real quick over the damage one with Burn, and then we'll look at the nuances of Chill. So for damage, it's kind of locked in. You want Rapid Fire Spray, entirely changes your gameplay. As you're burning through your rotation's becoming quicker and quicker and quicker, just because of how the cooldowns work. Next, we have Jet Boot Modification. When you use the dodge, active dodge, you do bonus damage. No cooldown on this, which is insane. Your only cooldown is your dodge gauge recovery, which you can, with Kickstart and other things going on, you're able to get it a little bit quicker. Then up here we're using Space Pirate Grand Finale. If they're under 50% HP, you do 25% more damage. And Tolerance decrease, 15% more damage with all types, so this one will be burn. So with the current setup, with the last three we went over, tolerance, jet boot modification, and grand finale, if someone's under half health, you dodge and then fire cannonball, they're probably dead. Next, let's go into the nuances of chill. We're definitely going to want rapid fire spray still, just because this allows us to be more beneficial to our team. We're able to use our just get it started more often as we're burning through cooldowns. And then we're going to take a look down here. We got increased guard damage by 30% when equipped 3 chill skills, which we are. So we're just always doing 30% more guard damage, which is what we're looking for. Then 45% chance of stacking 1 additional chill upon applying chill. Several of our skills do 2 or 3 chills. So if you get 2 skills off and proc this once or twice, they're frozen, allowing you and your team to kill them real quick. On your last one, you really have the option of kind of anything. That's the great thing about Starlord. He has a lot of great ones. You can go for damage or low HP. You can go for just flat damage, so you can jump between the two as you feel. Same with jet boot modification. Or if you're having issues rolling accuracy on your chest and things like that, you can go for stable breath, giving you 25% accuracy and 25% stats effect accuracy if you are 50% more or higher HP. Next, let's go into cards and companions. For Omega cards, it's going to be pretty similar to most of our other builds. You definitely want things like cooldown, supervillain team up, one of the best cards in my opinion, non-specials. Cooldown is super important with the changes in the last patch. The ones I want to point out is for the ice build that's trying to do guard damage. We're going to talk about down here, set 11, Kingpin 2017 has guard damage, and then set 9, Avengers 2016 has guard damage. Now, if you're wondering how to counteract this, currently there's a couple, but the one that always comes to mind is down here, War Machine 2008 from set 13 for guard damage decrease. Something that the burn one, the one that's trying to actually kill the opponent, might want is Doctor Strange 1974 for accuracy. Next, let's get into companions. Now, for companions, the burn build gets benefit from Dawn of Ports, starts at 15% damage, and scales up kind of fast actually. So just all your skills are doing a bunch of damage, which is really great. In a group environment, Thena is still the better option. If you're having stamina issues, Dawn is still great because as you see, bonus effect, that's just for having her on the board. One of your 4 options over there on the right, you get that bonus effect. Thena gives it to your entire team, so if you're in a group setting, Thena is the better option. Something I wanted to point out for the ice build that's trying to trying to guard break the target, not as your summon, but just on your board. A great option is Scrag. As you see, guard damage is the bonus effect, and for the burn build, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. His bonus effect is crit rate, and you have Kaya, it's total damage. As far as actual summons, if you're the point carrier, Ultron is not bad. And if you're trying to really push into that guard damage for the ice build, where's he at? Gilgamesh is a great option. Last but not least, let's get into the costumes. Going into our costumes, we have Magardia right here for the chill build. I prefer crit rate over defense pierce. So this is, as you see, chill. And Kigerr for the flame build for the same reasons. I like the 3-piece crit rate. And for non-regional, Annihilation is great with elemental cannon shot. It has a 12-second cooldown, so if you have max cooldown, then you're looking at every 6 seconds using your biggest damage ability, which is great. Down below, the keyword for my giveaway is going to be ghostwriter. One word or 2 words, doesn't matter. Ghostwriter, space, and then tell me what you liked or disliked about this video. Till next time, guys.